Have you felt your legs weaker, even though you eat well? Maybe the problem lies in something you believe to be healthy: fruit. Now stop and think. How many times have you tried to improve your diet believing that you were doing the right thing, only to continue feeling weakness, pain, and that damn insecurity when walking? This is not just natural aging. That's your body begging for help. And maybe, without you knowing it, the ones who are knocking you down are exactly those innocent fruits that you eat every single day. That's right. There's fruit on your plate that, instead of strengthening you, is detonating your circulation, inflaming your muscles, and accelerating your loss of mobility. Have you ever stumbled out of nowhere? Have you ever felt your leg wobbly without explanation? This does not come by chance. This comes from your sabotaging diet, and the worst? You didn't even know it. The truth is hard, but it needs to be told. After 50, the body changes, and if you keep eating like you used to, you'll keep getting weaker and weaker until the day you can't climb a ladder without fear of falling. Today you will discover the 7 fruits that are destroying your legs in silence. Fruits that look healthy, that everyone recommends, but that are draining your strength without you realizing it. And in the end, I'll show you exactly what to put in place to turn this game around and regain your footing. If you are over 50 and still want to maintain your independence, your freedom, your dignity, then watch it until the end. Because maybe today you'll find out that what's making you sick, it's coming straight from your fruit bowl. And the most worrying thing is that no one is telling you that. Not your doctor, not the health programs on TV. It is a type of information that is hidden in technical research, but that can completely transform your way of aging. And that is exactly why this channel exists. To translate these truths that no one says, clearly, directly, and without fluff. So if you value your autonomy, your health, and want to continue walking safely and energetically for the next few years, take the opportunity now to sign up. That way, you don't miss any content that can make all the difference in your daily life, starting with the fruits you need to stop eating starting today. Let's get straight to the point. And now that you understand why you need to reevaluate the way you eat, it's time to get straight to the point. Let's reveal the fruits that, despite seeming to be allies of health, are actually silently sabotaging your muscle strength, compromising your circulation, and making each step seem more difficult than the last. This is not sensationalism, it is physiology. It's your body reacting to excess certain sugars, inflammatory compounds, and imbalances that, when they build up over time, begin to erode your ability to walk steadily, climb a ladder with confidence, or even get up from your chair effortlessly. The first fruit on the list is the ripe banana. Yes, it is practical, popular, and present in almost every home. But here's the problem. Bananas, especially when very ripe, have a high glycemic index. This means that it quickly turns into sugar in your blood. And what does it cause? Inflammation, imbalance in insulin levels, and spikes that compromise circulation. For those over 50 years old, this type of repeated peak favors the loss of muscle tone and increases the feeling of heaviness in the legs. Maybe you've already felt that sluggish after eating something light. The hidden sugar in bananas may be the culprit. And if you have a history of diabetes, prediabetes, or just want to preserve your strength, this is one of the first fruits you need to consume with caution, or avoid altogether. The second fruit that needs to get on your radar is grapes. They seem harmless, sweet, and convenient, but they are real fructose bombs in small portions. A handful of grapes can contain more sugar than a slice of cake. And what few people know is that fructose, when consumed in excess, is metabolized mainly in the liver. This can cause a buildup of liver fat and make it harder for your muscles to produce clean energy. The result? Feeling tired, swelling in the legs, poor circulation, and that constant difficulty maintaining balance. In addition, grapes also contribute to the increase in uric acid, which worsens gout and joint pain, which are very common after 50. Let's now move on to a fruit that many people think is refreshing and healthy, but which can be a real silent enemy: watermelon. Despite having plenty of water, it is also very rich in fast-absorbing sugars. That is, it hydrates, but at the same time generates a glycemic peak as high as soda in some cases. If you've ever noticed that you feel drowsy or weak after a lunch with watermelon for dessert, you now understand why. Excess sugar interferes with muscle cells' energy uptake and speeds up insulin release, which in the long run weakens your muscle response and makes your legs less reactive, less agile, and less reliable to support your body. Another popular and seemingly healthy fruit that makes this list is the mango. And here the warning is even more serious. Mango combines high fructose content with an inflammatory effect on tissues when consumed in large quantities. What does this mean in practice? It means that the sleeve can aggravate inflammatory processes in the knees, ankles, and hips. Do you feel constant pain in these regions? Difficulty bending or straightening your legs? You can be sure the way you are eating is directly linked to your chronic inflammation, and if your diet includes mango frequently, it could be fueling the fire of your pain. From the age of 50, the body already has more difficulty fighting inflammation on its own. Therefore, any food that collaborates with this process needs to be avoided. And maybe that next fruit will surprise you even more: the orange. It is a symbol of health, a source of vitamin C, and a guaranteed presence at the breakfast of thousands of people. But what few people know is that frequent consumption of orange juice, or even the whole fruit, can compromise your muscle strength for a simple reason: excessive acidity combined with high fructose. This combination alters your body's pH and impairs the absorption of minerals such as magnesium and calcium, which are essential for proper muscle function. In the long run, this imbalance can cause cramps, muscle fatigue, and increased risk of falls. Especially if you already take any medication that interferes with the metabolism of these minerals, such as antihypertensives or diuretics, the effect is further aggravated. Another fruit that easily enters the routine and may be sabotaging you is the pear. It feels smooth, easy to chew, has fiber, but the problem lies precisely in its fructose content and the difficulty that the body has to metabolize it efficiently in people over 50. When the liver's capacity decreases, the excess fructose in the pear can overwhelm the metabolism and lead to feelings of weakness in the legs and diffuse pain. In addition, people prone to metabolic syndrome may have increased sensitivity to this type of sugar, which generates fluid retention, a feeling of heaviness in the legs, and decreased muscle tone. And to close this block seriously, we need to talk about red apples, especially those that are very sweet and large, such as gala. Although it has fiber and antioxidants, its excess sugar can be harmful. Most of the problem is not in eating an apple once in a while, but in the false idea that it can be consumed freely several times a day. When this happens, the impacts on your glycemic control, insulin production, and muscle response add up, creating a perfect environment for loss of strength and increased abdominal fat, two factors directly linked to loss of mobility and instability in the legs. If you have noticed that you are slower to walk, with less momentum when climbing steps, and you still wonder, why am I like this if I eat so much fruit? The answer may be here. Now, understand, it is not about demonizing fruits or spreading fear. It is about adapting consumption to your moment in life. After the age of 50, your body no longer responds in the same way. Metabolism changes, sugar burning efficiency decreases, insulin resistance increases, and any small imbalance can have a big impact on your quality of life. The wrong choice of fruits can lead you to persistent pain, daily bloating, muscle fatigue, lack of willingness to do small tasks, and worse, it can take you away from the independence you have fought your whole life to preserve. Therefore, when we talk about post-50 strategic food, we are not talking about fads. We are talking about real prevention to keep your muscles active, your circulatory system flowing well, and your bones stable enough to hold you firmly. Every bite matters. Each choice in the market can be the one that brings you closer to vitality or dependence. And now that you know these 7 fruits that most damage your leg strength, it's time to look at them with new eyes. Not as forbidden foods, but as foods that require awareness, moderation, and in some cases, complete replacement. And speaking of substitutions, this is precisely what we are going to deal with now. Because as important as knowing what to avoid is knowing what to put in place to regain your stability, strengthen your muscles, and keep your energy up there, even after 60. That's what we're going to talk about now. Now that you know which fruits are silently sabotaging your muscle strength, weakening your legs, and compromising your mobility, it's time to turn the key. Because cutting down the villains is only half the battle. The real gain happens when you put the right foods in place, those that will help your body regain balance, strengthen muscles, and above all, return that firmness when walking that you thought you had lost forever. And this is where post-50 strategic nutrition comes in. We are not talking about fads or fancy diets. We're talking about smart food choices based on science, physiology, and the reality of a body that, yes, is changing over time, but is still fully capable of reacting, recovering, and improving, as long as it gets the right nutrients. You no longer have to feel that insecurity when walking, that fear of falling, or that frustration of feeling weak after simple tasks. This can all start to change with the right fruit, at the right time, in the right amount. Let's start with a powerful substitution: papaya. Many people ignore it, but papaya is one of the most complete fruits for those looking to reduce inflammation, improve digestion, and give more lightness to the body. Rich in papain, it helps in the processing of proteins, which favors muscle recovery and reduces digestive overload. But the most important thing is that it helps control blood sugar levels in a natural way. For those over 50, this regulation is essential to avoid blood glucose peaks that directly affect strength and disposition. Papaya also has a gentle effect on the intestine, which is crucial for those with constipation. Another factor that indirectly interferes with the feeling of well-being and the lightness of the body when moving. Another strategic fruit is the avocado. Unlike sugar-filled fruits, avocados are rich in good fats, especially monounsaturated fatty acids. These fats are anti-inflammatory, protect the joints, and also help in the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins such as D and K, essential for bone and muscle health. Avocados are also a source of potassium at higher levels than bananas, with the advantage of not raising blood sugar. This means that it helps you avoid cramps, strengthens your muscle endurance, and even takes care of your circulation. 3 critical points for those who want to walk safely and autonomously after the age of 60. And if you feel like you need more energy for the day, but without the ups and downs caused by sugar, bet on berries. Strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, and blackberries are rich in antioxidants, such as anthocyanins, which fight cellular aging, improve memory, and reduce systemic inflammation. These fruits are low in fructose, which means you can consume them frequently without compromising your blood glucose. In addition, they have fiber that helps stabilize digestion and keep the intestine up to date, another factor that, yes, directly affects your energy, your mood, and even your ability to concentrate. If your concern is bone health, include kiwi in your routine. Few people know, but kiwi has more vitamin C than oranges, with the benefit of not causing the same glycemic impacts. This vitamin is essential for the production of collagen, the protein that supports muscles, joints, and skin. What's more, kiwi has enzymes that help in the digestion of proteins, which favors muscle reconstruction, especially important for those who experience a loss of lean mass over the years. Another great ally that deserves to be highlighted is the cherry. Uncommon in everyday life, it is a true medicinal food. Rich in natural anti-inflammatory compounds, such as quercetin and anthocyanins, cherries act directly to reduce muscle and joint pain. Studies show that its regular consumption can help even in cases of arthritis. For those over 50 who start to feel that stiffness when they wake up or that discomfort in the knees when walking, this is one of the fruits that can help the most. Not only in relieving pain, but in preventing the silent inflammation that accumulates day after day. And if you're the type who doesn't give up a sweet touch on the day, but wants something that will really help your health, consider fresh fig. It has fiber that feeds the good bacteria in the intestine, and this directly affects your immunity and mood. But beware, no fig in syrup or candied. We are talking about natural, fresh figs, with their balanced sweetness and bioactive compounds that protect blood vessels and improve microcirculation, especially in the extremities. Something essential to avoid that feeling of cold feet or numbness in the legs. And perhaps one of the most interesting substitutions for those who want to keep their body more active and functional is guava. Little valued, guava is one of the foods with the highest concentration of lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that fights damage caused by free radicals, protects the heart, and even strengthens muscles. It also contains calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus, a trio of minerals that act directly on muscle contraction, bone strength, and the prevention of falls. If you feel like you've lost steadiness when walking or have difficulty with balance, including guava in your routine can be a simple but powerful step in the right direction. Now, it is important to reinforce, these fruits work not because they are miraculous, but because they are aligned with the real needs of the body after 50. They don't trigger sugar spikes, they don't inflame your joints, they don't rob you of your minerals. On the contrary, they help you rebuild what time, stress, and bad habits have begun to erode. And this is what we call smart nutrition. From a menu designed to support a body that still has a lot to live, but needs to be taken care of with more strategy and awareness. Imagine for a moment that every food you put on your plate is a choice between losing strength or gaining stability, between depending on others or maintaining their autonomy, between getting sick slowly or aging with dignity. It is not an exaggeration. There are years of research, practical experience, and real stories of people who have changed small things in their diet and gained back energy, firmness, disposition, and self-esteem. And the most incredible thing is that, unlike expensive medicines or supplements that promise the world, these good fruits are affordable, natural, and can be introduced gradually, respecting your taste, your routine, and your time. Of course, it's not just about eating a guava today and hoping for miracles tomorrow, but rather to adopt a coherent, sustainable diet based on what your body really needs now, after 50, 60, 70. The most important thing of all is that you start. Start replacing. Start observing how your body responds. Start to feel the effect of more fluid circulation, lighter digestion, firmer muscles. Because these signs do appear, and often in less time than you might think. And if you've made it this far, it's because you're ready for this change. Because, deep down, you know it's not just about what you eat. It's about how you want to live your next few years. And since we've talked so much about change and rebuilding, now it's time to talk clearly and firmly about what you need to do going forward. Because information without action doesn't change anything. And now, more than ever, you have the power to transform the way your body ages. Let's continue. Now that you understand exactly what should go off your plate and what needs to go on, the most important moment has come. Making it a compromise. Because as I told you before, knowing is not enough. Transformation happens when you make a decision. And this decision needs to start now. But I know how hard it is to change. Especially when years ago you were taught that fruits are always good, that if you are eating something natural, you are doing everything right. But your body after 50 no longer works as it used to. It requires more criteria, more attention, more awareness. And the truth is that no one has ever prepared you for this phase. You haven't been taught that certain foods age your muscular system. They didn't warn you that the fatigue in your legs, that pain in your knees, that difficulty getting out of bed may be being fueled by daily choices that you don't even realize. And worse, no one gave you a clear direction of what to do with it. That's why I'm here. This channel exists exactly for that. To be a turning point. To help you rebuild your health based on what really matters. No empty promises, no hassle, only with the truth. And if you felt like this video spoke to you, if that information opened your eyes, then it makes sense to continue this journey with me. Take advantage now and subscribe to the channel. Click on the subscribe button. This isn't just so you don't miss the next video. It's for you to be part of a community of people who, like you, want to age with freedom, autonomy, dignity. Because this is possible. Even after 60, even after 70. You just need the right tools, and I'm going to give you that here, in each video. And it doesn't stop here. If this content made sense to you, there are other videos on the channel that will show you how to change your breakfast to improve your circulation, how to avoid the worst eating mistakes that weaken your bones, how to put together simple meals that nourish your muscles without weighing down your stomach. These videos were made for you to watch in sequence, because each of them completes the other. One step at a time, one choice at a time. This is how you build a stronger, lighter, more functional body after 50. Now I want to hear from you, because this channel is not about me. It's about you. It's about your history, about your body, about your journey. So answer me in the comments. Which of these fruits that I showed you today do you consume the most in your daily life? The one you swore was healthy, but now you've seen that it may be damaging your leg strength. Write it down below. Tell me. Your answer may open other people's eyes as well. People like you who need this information, who need this alert, who need to start this change now. What's more, if this video really touched you, if it showed you something that no one has ever told you, share it with someone you love. It can be your mother, your father, your partner, a friend who keeps complaining about pain in her legs. Send this video to her, because we only take care of those we love when we share what we can save. And in this case, saving is not an exaggeration. It may be what will prevent a fall, a hospitalization, a loss of autonomy that could have been avoided with a simple change in the plate. You've come this far because you care about your health, because he knows that he does not want to live depending on others, and because he understood that he can, yes, have more strength, more energy, and more firmness in his legs, even after 50. So let's move on together. There is much more to come. The journey is just beginning. Let's continue.